Now, I said I wanted to do a video about the Lotus, and this is just with some footage that I captured over the last while, so use my VLC player on screen. But yeah, so I wanted to talk about one or two things, and that was something that's been put into this game and the look that people have had with this event. Now, please keep in mind that I have no idea of what goes on behind the scenes with this game, but this is just speculation based on the results that some people would have gotten, that would have seen and stuff. And that is the fact that if you're in a club and people were unlocking the Lotus Evija, you probably noticed that a lot more people were talking about getting like really good drop rates and even jackpots on a lot of those packs, even though the packs still had the same 10% rate. Now, one of the things that's been included in Asphalt 9 Legends for quite a while is a thing called bad luck protection. And yeah, it's a system that basically means that if you've got terrible luck in events, that it'll balance out. So say you get your like ton of packs which do not give you something, like it isn't a case of that each new pack has that same 10% chance drop rate. Like say the more packs you open that are empty, bad luck protection basically means like, oh, you've opened a pack that hasn't had something, you've opened a pack that doesn't have something, so that each time that happens you basically tick onto a counter that would give you an increased chance of getting something. Now obviously those bad luck protections have to cover a bunch of the different packs in game, because of the fact that, like, say you go to unlock a 10 pack of Chiron blue and you get 3 blueprints out of it, and then the next event you go to unlock some other cars saying and you get 3 blueprints out of it. So the game will have to carry forward that bad luck protection, so eventually every player will have a time that they're lucky. Keep in mind, please, the bad luck protection thing 100% exists in the game. Oh, I will point out, by the way, just for people who aren't interested in the slightest about speculation on bad luck protection, I'll put chapter marks down below here as to the actual pack unlocking, so you can see the look that I did have. Now, like, it's pre-recorded footage, obviously, VLC players, you can see, but it was just a case of I wanted to capture it because I was doing this kind of over the entire Lotus Evija event in the background, and I wasn't really doing it as a look, get on this one. And I still wouldn't advise trying this. It is just a case of, like I said, complete and utter speculation. So do not take my word as gospel on this. I do not know how the system works entirely behind the scenes. And yeah, it is only guesswork. But please, yeah, like I said, chapter marks down here and see what you think of along the video. Now, say we have the bad luck protection explain post here. And as in case you don't receive a featured item from a card pack beyond their expected drop rate, you no longer need to rely on just your luck, as the system would identify such cases and provide you with a guaranteed drop. Before, if you were unlucky, you might only have a few items out of 100, even with a 10% drop rate. In the system in place, you will have the item drop for you every time you get a strike of bad luck on top of your normal drop. They'd be more likely to end up with 10 items and more. Now, the thing about this Evija event and how I think this kind of played out a small bit for people to get good luck from this bad luck protection is the fact that loads of players were trying out the hunts for the epic import parts. So we had a lot of players doing these, which is the epic import car hunts that were going on. So yeah, well, you had to run like 100 runs for the Lotus Evija if you wanted to try and get a blueprint from that. And people realized immediately that the blueprint for that one almost always came at the 89th pack from it, which means the fact that while the pack has a drop rate chance, realistically packs 1 through 88 for most players had a 0% drop chance. Even though they should have had a drop chance, they didn't, which means the fact that, like, with that you've got an epic pack which could have an epic import part in it, but realistically can't have an epic import part until pack number 89, which means that you could effectively stack yourself some bad luck protection using that, presumably, if that is the way the system works. Now, this is completely based on speculation. So what I did was, given the fact that you would get 2,000 tokens per unlock of each star with the Evija anyway. As much as I wasn't really too crazy on getting the car, like not too much so, but I said I was just going to like test this for myself and see was it possible to try to manipulate the bad luck in such a way that yeah, I would try and stack bad luck on myself and then unlock packs and use it that way. So as to try and do this, and it did take quite a while to do it, but I knew the fact that, like I said, the Lotus Evija pack here would come at pack 89 from that, and say there was talk of the fact that for people who had the Honda Civic pack, that if you got a Honda Civic pack within pack 11, you would get another one before the 100 ran out. So like with the fact that you could know when those drop chances were, there was a place where you could effectively go and open a load of packs knowing the fact that you had, like, there was a chance to get something from those packs, but effectively it boiled down to a 0% chance because, yeah, the game was, like, stacked against you. Again, please, pinch of salt, complete speculation based on the fact of knowing that bad luck protection exists, knowing that these packs have an item inside them, and then trying to manipulate that by opening the packs up until certain points and then going for it. So what I did first was I came in here and I done around 40 or so of the Lotus Evija runs, and to bring that number up, and knowing the fact again, like I said, that yeah, there was no real chance of getting an epic part from those. So I ran 40 or so of those, and then went for going to unlock the next star for that Evija. I'll click back to my footage that I captured. So yeah, I did actually at that point need 31 blueprints, which would have been, at absolute worst case scenario, 10 sets of packs, which would have been 7,500 tokens, and then getting that refund of 1,500 tokens from the from unlocking that 4th star. So effectively the worst case scenario in this one would have been a cost of 6,000 tokens after you factor in getting back that 1,500. So I said, like, even worst case scenario, this is going to be an attempt at trying this, and at worst it would knock me down to 18k to go about getting it this way, if that 10% drop rate worked, and my idea of injecting bad luck protection into myself did not work. So yeah, like I said, I mean, it was going to cost me at most 6,500, which would bring me down to 18k, and this was after stacking tons and tons and tons of that bad luck protection by doing about 40 runs where I had a guaranteed chance. And like, yeah, it could be just down to complete luck, but I mean, that is far, far greater luck than I have in most instances, and most players would ever have. I mean, it's 4 times the regular amount of luck that you would have. So like, if you've ever opened packs in Asphalt, you would know the fact that 4 times your regular luck, yeah, that's 40% drop rate right there. Like, out of packs that should be 10. I remember some of the patterns that I remember that they were mostly good, but I remember certain packs of this. But yeah, so again, another 10 pack, and yeah, that time 20% drop rate. So you've got 40%, 20%. As opposed to the 10. Still gonna always get suckered in by doing that. Even though I think those are set like completely aside from everything else. Those ones are out of universe packs that are just like 0% drop rate for everyone always. Still though, with the Kings of the Fall update, that's not the worst thing to go for those. But yeah, so you have like 40% drop rate, 20% drop rate. And see, this is the point where I'm wondering now, is like, if it affects only certain things, should he go back in and try it some more? And it depends on like how much kind of like, yeah, you want to kind of put into the like theory of it. But there's one with 10%, so you had 40, 20 and 10%. So in drifting away from like possible like the protection built up from the things. And again, like another pack with relatively low-ish drops. still 20%. So 40, 20, 10, 20. Sure how close bring me to semi close. Oh yeah, so there was the star up from the gear along with an extra 6 and an extra 9 and that. That's the final one, which was kind of cool and kind of bad at the same time, because I started off this being 31 blueprints away from the star up for the Lotus, and yeah, got my star up for it. But like in 4K tokens. And yeah, not only did I get the 4th star on the Lotus Evija, but I also got 23 blueprints over, which then put me in a bad scenario, because I was like, okay, technically I am, you know, again at the point where I am 27 blueprints away from the 5th star for that car. And I had about half of the special event farmed out at that stage. And I kind of thought to myself as like, okay, what does the next star give in terms of token rewards, and would it be possible to repeat a similar scenario of doing the same thing? So now I set about going in and yeah, farming back up that, like I said, the bad luck protection. I knew the fact that the next epic the epic import for that car was not going to come until pack 89 from doing those things. So after checking, yeah, the getting the tokens back up from, so I started off at 24k, I brought it down to 20k, but got the return back of tokens by doing that 4th star event in the Evija, bringing it up to 22.5k, grinded out about another 40 or 50 runs of that epic import part thing, and then returned to try to get my 30 blueprints. And yeah, like I said, again, this is after stacking up like about 50 runs or so of that, like getting absolutely nothing. And I was kind of thinking the fact that, like I said, again, it was a case of gonna just put in some tokens into this, knowing the fact that I would get back 2.5k, but say like there's the first pack at 20%. And only needing 27 tokens, so a worst case scenario is going to be what, 9 sets of things that it would reward back with like 2.5k tokens anyway. But like, this is one that like people should definitely be careful with, like with trying something like this, because at the same time, like tokens in Asphalt are not cheap if you go down the route of buying them, and you always have the chance of getting, say like, yeah, like there's a 20% and a 10%, leaving me 18 blueprints away. So still potentially like quite a costly endeavor. But I was like, for science, to like press forward and see. And yeah, like I say, for the Kings of the Fall update, like all of those trade tokens, they're really, really not the worst thing. So that's at 10% drop rate. Yeah, so like seemingly normal enough drops the second time around. 10%. Like even for me, seeing the guaranteed drops that's quite a lot of BMW blueprints in that. But yeah, so there's 20%, 30% chance inside that pack. Me to within 6 of unlocking the car, or not unlocking the car, but upgrading it to that 5th star. And there's the unlock, and there's the jackpot again. And another 3. which actually put me 15 blueprints over the actual thing. But if you've watched my unlocks of this, that is the fact that on the 3rd star, the 4th star, and the 5th star, each one of those had a jackpot set of cards inside there, which is insane considering the regular drop rate that you get of blueprints. So that's the bad luck protection system. As you see there, it was introduced in September of 2019, which is the Kings of the Fall update on the global version of the game, which is the PC and mobile phone versions of the game. Now, the thing is, obviously, like, our Switch version comes around a year after that, but this should have come in during the Kings of the Fall update. And again, it's like I said, this could just be down to a completely one-off luck. For me, with the exception of the fact that so many people who have been talking in club chat or on, I've noticed it on Facebook and on the Discord server and stuff, when people went for these packs, there seemed to be like an extraordinary higher amount of people getting jackpots and stuff for that. And I'm thinking, could that just be attributed to completely blind luck, or was something to do with it the fact that you had that epic import part hunt, which was running there at the same time, where it was like, hey, there's an item in here, you could get this, but realistically you couldn't get it for 89 runs. So if you wanted to think about it like this, with the bad luck protection in game, it's meant to give you a bit of protection and kind of count it up every time you do a roll of a dice and that dice comes up as 0. Yay, game loft dice. But think about it like this, that epic car hunt effectively meant the fact that, say for the Lotus Evija, the epic part for that car dropped on pack 89 for a lot of players. I think that was the point where it was guaranteed to drop. And like, the thing is, the game effectively gives you this dice and says, get rolling it. And you roll the dice and it's a 0. And you roll the dice and it's a 0. And you could effectively roll that dice 88 times, knowing the fact that each one of those rolls would be a 0. But at the same time, each one of those rolls, the game is meant to be giving you a chance at an item. And I think that's probably what happened in quite a lot of these, is in players would have been rolling away those dice as 0 inside that epic hunt thing, which didn't actually have a proper drop rate, and at the same time then feeding up that bad luck protection. Now, one of the things is obviously like, okay, from that, what can you do with this going forward? Effectively, since this event is over, that was why I didn't want to make a video on this early, is because loads of people who are opening packs seemed to be getting rewards from them without, like, say, intentionally knowing as to why. And I have a feeling that if it was because those packs had bad luck protection applied to them, they shouldn't have realistically. And I didn't want to make a video on this one, which may have been picked up and fixed, which would have corrected that increased drop rate on those Evija packs. Because in the meantime, it's just people who are opening them happen to be getting slightly better things. Also, this is complete speculation. I didn't want people wasting tokens chasing down something. I know some people obviously would chase this down and not have that, because this game is got gambling elements to it. And yeah, it is just a case of, I'm not going to ever encourage somebody, hey kids, gamble like this. I don't want to do that. This was just a complete science experiment for myself. Going forward, what could you do with this? Okay, potentially there is another place where you can test out bad luck protection and see how it will work against you. So just why not try, for the sake of, test it out for yourself, because it's not going to do any harm to you. If you were going to unlock packs with tokens, say, you could theoretically go into one of those car hunts and do runs of them. And obviously you'll get blueprints sometimes, and you'll get epic parts sometimes, and credits a lot of the time. But sometimes if you notice the fact that, say, you get a run of like 5 in a row where you do a race and you get no blueprints. You do a race, you get no blueprints. You do a race, no blueprints. And so on. Effectively think about that yourself, as in, if you were going to open packs and you happen to be doing a car hunt at the same time, would it be in your best interest from a bad luck protection point of view of opening up a bunch of packs and then taking it and saying, okay, I've opened 10 sets of packs in these, I haven't got anything from the car hunt, I haven't got a blueprint for that car in a while, so my bad luck protection stat should be going up. Then maybe consider maybe now wouldn't be the worst time to unlock a 10 pack for 750 tokens. Again, complete speculation. The bad luck protection system is obviously protected because of yeah, how it works, as in no gambling system wants you to kind of look behind the curtain and stuff. But still, I think like there is a lot of evidence from the Evija event, the fact that people were, like I said, rolling that dice for ages and getting zeros on it, and then finding themselves getting a kind of abnormal amount of blueprints out of those packs, just like above and beyond what you would ever expect to see. And yeah, my thoughts on this would be the fact that that bad luck protection was kicking in quite a lot there, because you had people racing hundreds of times with none of the actual drop rate from that. But yeah, again, complete speculation. If you enjoyed this video, click like on it, because it did cost me a couple of K tokens. But let's see, what was the total damage on that? Now, so there you can see the total damage from that. Yeah, so when I had 24-ish, 24.5K, that was about a week or so ago. So you have obviously a week of events and stuff going into that, but that's not a crazy amount of tokens. But at the same time, I did need 80 blueprints to star up the Lotus Evija, and I got 95 blueprints for that car at a cost of around, like, say, 6K, which is crazy high luck in it. And then at the same time, like I said, there was a 1,500 tokens and a 2,500 token reward that I got back for doing those 2 stars. So at the same time, like, that would have been me knocked down to around 18K from the 24K. But with the event running alongside this, it was a good time to test out the theory, since, like I said, even if it went really bad, it was still only going to cost me, you know, the gambled amount less 2,500 or 1,500 tokens, because I was going to get some reward for it anyway. And yeah, at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, I got the 5-star Lotus Evija, and I had a fun science experiment to test out with, yeah, those blueprints. Hopefully, like I said, guys, if you enjoyed this video and a bit of speculation on it, please do leave a comment or a like down below and let us know how you kind of got on with this event, or if you just think, nah, Storm's just lucky. I don't know. Most of my other videos unlocking cars would suggest that I'm anything but lucky. But now, like I said, that bad luck protection is in from the Kings of the Fall update. So hopefully it'll seem fairer for people going forward. Like I said, if you've got like a car hunt going on and the car hunt has been like mean to you and mean to you and mean to you, maybe consider, you know, hey, now wouldn't be the worst time to, like I said, you know, 750 tokens towards some 10 packs. Just test it out, but again, please take it with a pinch of salt. Do not spend tokens on stuff unless you're unsure that you want the car from it, or if you're like, yeah, have plenty of tokens to spare for the upcoming special events and stuff like that. All right, I'm gonna stop prattling on. Good luck, guys. Drive safe, gamble safe in this, because that's what it is for those things. There is my sub button up there over my head. I really appreciate anyone who clicks on those, or anyone who watches these videos, or comments and likes. It makes an absolute ton of difference to this channel. And there's other videos from me there and there on Pikmin and indie games, and I have some boss battles from Pokemon Go that I'm going to throw up on the channel in a while. I'm just trying to put them together in such a way that it looks nice, because they're in portrait mode. Yeah, good luck, drive safe, and I hope you enjoyed this slightly different look at a car unlocking video by me. I know, like I said, it's normally a case of I would do these in live streams or in yeah, just record my reaction to it, but this one was more a case of I want to do it more scientifically and go through it. But yeah, guys, good luck.